Hi guys, this is Ashleigh, personal trainer and weight loss coach. Today we're going to be talking about something a little bit different, not quite the weight loss angle you may be expecting. We're going to talk about being tired, and I don't just mean you're not sleeping well, you have insomnia, but I mean being tired in your spirit, being tired emotionally, being tired mentally. To be honest, I almost didn't film this video or release anything this week because quite honestly, I'm feeling tired. I think we all get to that point. Sometimes you're burnt out, sometimes there's just a lot of things going on. Right now, particularly when this video is being released, there's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot of protests happening, there's looting happening, riots, things that aren't even far from my home. Just a lot of sadness, a lot of injustice, a lot of oppression, misunderstanding, racism, just things that you would think that we wouldn't be dealing with today that we are dealing with in a major way. Not to mention we've been fighting, I don't know if YouTube is allowing you to talk about it right now. There's a thing about that going on right now, but the illness that's out there right now, the pandemic, that is still strongly affecting many people. There's a lot of people that are unemployed, a lot of people that are fighting the illness itself or recovering from the illness or have lost loved ones to it. There's just a lot to be hurting about right now. Not to mention, it was June 1st yesterday, the start of hurricane season, and there's a tropical depression now that could be barreling down on me in my state. So it's just like a million things coming at a person all at one time, and it is easy to become weary.
And a lot of conversations a lot of us are having these days have to do with exhaustion. Look, we're in a pandemic now. About a quarter of COVID deaths, African Americans. We only make up 13% of the population. We're now at 16.7% unemployment for Black America. That's 2 percentage points higher than the average. There is a sense of exhaustion. With all going on, we have to see this play out on our screens. People that look like us going through that. And there's his words, just a profound exhaustion in the country right now.
And I think as humans that's a natural response and a perfectly reasonable response. To be weary, to be tired in your spirit, to be emotionally tired, to be frustrated, to be mentally tired. And that impacts everything in your life. Your health is not just physical. It's not just about how much you weigh, if you have some chronic disease or illness. It's not just about how good you look or anything like that. If you don't have the mental and emotional aspects, it's very hard to be a healthy person. In my opinion, I don't know that you will ever really be a healthy person if you can't be healthy in your emotions, be healthy mentally, be healthy physically. They all go together, and if you're imbalanced in one of these areas, it's kind of a matter of time before some of the other ones will also start to go. So if you too are feeling tired and just burnt out, frustrated, you may find that you're struggling keeping up your physical goals. You may be disciplined with going to the gym, what you eat, doing the right stuff, you've been doing well. And now that we're getting to this point of exhaustion, you might find that you've succumbed to stress eating, to eating out of boredom, to skipping gym day because you just don't feel like it, you don't have the energy. And that's a real thing, and that's true, and that's happening to people right now. And it's not a physical tiredness. It's not a, oh, you need to get some rest tonight. It's an emotional, mental tiredness. It's exhausting ourselves, wrestling with issues that are so big, so overwhelming, and very difficult to solve. They're not things that are changing overnight. And sometimes we can feel helpless that even if you decide to protest, even if you decide to do something personally, feeling like, is it making a difference? How will things change? It can be very, very wearing on the soul. So let's talk today about being tired, but I want to give you 5 tips to help you deal with this tiredness. And I'm going to be very honest with you. I'm tired. Like I said, I almost didn't post this video today. I almost didn't post anything for this week because I don't feel like I have the energy to even want to invest into it. It's difficult for your heart and your mind to be on something like weight loss or something right now when there are bigger issues at hand, if I may say. But I woke up with it on my mind and I said, you know what? If I'm wrestling with this tiredness, I know other people are too. So let's look at things we can do to change it, things we can do to lift ourselves out of this state of emotional and mental exhaustion and fatigue, and see how we can really, get some energy back, get some belief in humanity back, get a little more positive energy going so that we can take the time and the energy and the effort to care about ourselves as well as all the issues that are going on, all the many issues. So let's get into it. So the best thing we can do to combat that feeling of helplessness, one of the things I think, is to turn inward. Take all of that data, the facts, the things we know, and really take some time to process that inwardly and find your own answers. So don't rely on the media to tell you how to think or how to feel about it, but take the information, digest it, turn inward and say, well, what do I think about the coronavirus outbreak? What do I think about this injustice that has happened? What do I think about the situation that's going on? And not just what you think about it, but really internalize it, process it, and try to come to a place of either understanding or peace, or just coming to some kind of conclusion for yourself, because it's a very overwhelming thing. And sometimes when you're feeling overwhelmed like that, it helps to just kind of get a grip on all the data and the information that you have. So turn inward and ask yourself how you really think about it, how you feel about it. Some other great ways to do this is if you meditate, or if you pray, or if you have a close friend or family member that you can have a real discussion with, that's not going to be an argument, that's not going to escalate and have a lot of emotions flaring, but someone you can really discuss with and say, well, I saw on the news, this channel said this, this, that. This channel said this, this, that. I'm trying to process this, and just kind of talk it through. I know for me, I am what they call a verbal processor. Some people can process information internally in their head, like my husband. They can just think on it and come to a conclusion. I do better when I talk it out. And when I talk through the problem, I'll find my answers. And so you may need to find someone that you can talk to about things, to just say, I can't put a finger on what I'm feeling, but it's kind of like this. It's kind of like that. This situation made me think this. This similar situation, though, made me feel like that. And talk through it so that you can get a grip of how do you feel, where do you stand, and come to a little bit of an understanding, at least, of yourself. You may not be able to understand the issue or all the multiple factors of the issue, but you can begin to understand yourself and how you're feeling, and that can help you to actually kind of take some of the anxiety that's overtaking you down a couple notches. So take some time to take all that data, all that information, and turn inward and find your own answers. The second thing we want to do to deal with this tiredness is to create a safe place. It came to me actually when I was looking at videos of dog training, because I've been really interested in puppies and dogs lately, and I was watching a video about this girl who trains dogs, and she was talking about a dog she was working with that had a lot of anxiety and nervousness, and when it would get nervous around other dogs or people, it would growl and kind of act aggressively. But she was talking about how the dog wasn't doing that to be aggressive, but was being defensive because it is anxious. And so her way of dealing with that was to create a safe place for the dog, to give it like a dog bed, and to teach it that this is its place to go to when it is nervous and anxious, and that it can go there, lay down. Other dogs aren't going to approach it when it's there. Other people aren't going to pet it when it's there. It can be there and be in a safe place. And I thought, it just kind of hit me. I was like, I think we all kind of need a safe place sometimes. Sometimes we're emotionally fragile. Sometimes we are anxious. We're just on our last nerve. And we need a place where people aren't going to poke at us, irritate us. We just don't need one more thing to happen at that moment. And you kind of need a safe place to go and just bring it all down a notch, return to an okay place, and then you can go and deal with those people, those situations, after you've kind of got it under control. So let's look at how we can apply that as people to our own lives, creating a safe place. I think for me, my safe place is probably my apartment. it's a pretty free zone for me. It's just me and my husband here, so it's not like we have a lot of people that come by or anything, and I can think here, I can speak my mind here, I can be safe here. I don't feel like anyone's going to oppress me or disagree with me. Even if me and my husband have disagreement in a view, we can usually talk through it very civilly, and that's helpful to have a place where just because you view things differently doesn't put you in a position to be attacked. Because that will make you feel like the dog. You will be nervous and anxious, and you may yourself lash out aggressively when really you were just trying to defend yourself, and you didn't want to be attacked for feeling or thinking a certain thing. And that is a perfectly reasonable want and desire. Nobody wants to be attacked for their beliefs or their thoughts. You know, you want to be respected at the very least. So find a place that works for you. It may have to be your bedroom, or maybe it's somewhere outside, you know, going for a walk in the park. Actually, that could be another good safe place for me. I feel really good on my little walking trail that I jog. I do a lot of praying there, a lot of reflecting on the very things we're talking about today. I kind of walk and think it through and try to do my own search for answers in myself while I'm on my jogs. So finding a place where you can feel safe, that you can retreat to. I'm gonna just, you know, make a guess that that place may not be social media. That is probably a dangerous place to go. I think sometimes, you know, it's full of information, which can be a good thing, but it can also be an irritating thing, a provoking thing. You know, seeing people, either their silence can be provoking, or some of the things that they're saying that may disagree with you, or you may feel like they don't have access to the same facts that you do. These things can be provoking. And so your safe place may be to put the phone down, step away from the iPad or the tablet or whatever, and you know, stay off social media. So find some ways to create a safe place for yourself where you aren't going to be provoked, where you aren't going to be just continuously dumped negative on. So point number 2 kind of leads us into point number 3. Less negativity, more positivity. So we want to be informed, yes. I'm not going to say turn off the news completely or don't look at social media ever. You want to be informed and know what's going on, especially as things are changing all the time right now. But also seek positivity. You want to seek out things that make you feel like there's faith for humanity again. For me, some of the great places I turn to, there's a social media account, I think it's called Good News. I love Honey, the Humans of New York. I love Honey. They always are making me cry, but just great stories of the human spirit, the things people go through. A lot of times it can restore your faith in humanity, because if you only watch the news right now, you will not have much faith in humanity. So seek out good sources like this. I recently just started watching on Netflix The Kindness Diaries. I watched part of season 1 a while back. And then I think I changed cable providers or something, and I didn't have the channel that it came on anymore, but I just realized it's on Netflix. So I started watching that again. The Kindness Diaries is about a guy who each season he's trying to travel from point A to point B, but he has to rely completely on the kindness of others to do it. So he has a car or vehicle, but that's it. He doesn't have food, he doesn't have money, he doesn't have a place to stay, so he has to constantly ask people hey, can you get me a tank of gas? Hey, I'm hungry, can you help me get lunch? Hey, I need a place to sleep. And it's about the people he meets along the way. And then what they don't know is that he has a few gifts that he can give if the person is kind of above and beyond, or they really do some great things. They're a person that really makes him feel that faith in humanity again. And so, it's a really positive show to watch. And again, it makes me feel personally like there is hope for kindness and goodness in people still, whereas I'm not getting that vibe from the news right now. So find something that does that for you. It could be music, could be a movie, could be whatever, but something that makes you feel connected to being a human being, that humans are good in general, that just lifts your spirit and gives you faith in the goodness of people. The fourth tip is going to seem obvious, but it's also going to seem very difficult because we've already addressed these are ways to deal with being tired. And if you're tired, usually you don't want to do this step. But I'm going to say self-care is step number 4. And these are in no particular order, but you need to take the time to take care of yourself. You need to do things that are going to recharge you, that are going to fill you up emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You have to personally do that. You can't rely on social media to make you feel good. You can't rely on someone outside to make you feel good, your spouse, your kids, whoever. You have to say, I care about me. I am recognizing that I am running low on patience, on energy. I'm just exhausted with these things, and you need to turn inward and find a way to recharge yourself. And it could be something as simple as deciding to take a hot bath, light a few candles, and soak in the tub today. It could be as simple as watching a movie by yourself or eating some dark chocolate. Whatever it is you need to do to just kind of take a second to say, this is for me, and I want to feel better, and this is something that's going to make me feel better. This is not an excuse to go get McDonald's or eat junk food or something, because part of self-care is also recognizing that we don't just reward ourselves with things that are ultimately destructive. That is a bad reward system. So don't do that, but do reward yourself with something that actually is fulfilling for you. It could be going out in nature, taking a walk, whatever it is for you personally that makes you feel rejuvenated, makes you feel like you had a breath of fresh air when you do this thing. So take the time to take a little time for self-care. I know it's hard because you're already low on energy, but if you do it, it will recharge you, and that's what you're needing. Step 5 is really tapping into the emotional aspect of this. We need to recognize that it's okay. Take a moment to give yourself the right and the freedom to feel how you feel, to think how you think, to be you. It's okay. It's okay to be tired. It's okay to be frustrated. It's okay, that you don't have the energy right now. It's okay that you couldn't finish the to-do list. It's okay that things didn't work out. And I know that some of these things are going to be really hard to say it's okay to. There's a lot of things happening right now that are not okay. It's not okay that unemployment is so high. It's not okay that we have no cure or no pill or nothing to deal with this pandemic. It's not okay that so many people have died. It's not okay, the injustices that are happening right now. There's a lot that's not okay. But what we need to take time to do is to give ourselves the freedom to recognize how we feel about those things. That is okay. It is okay to be upset. It is okay to hurt. It is okay to wake up every day with a heavy heart right now. It's okay to look at your friends and family and wonder, how are we going to get through this? These things are okay. It's part of being human. It's part of what we're all going through. I would worry more if you weren't feeling that way, thinking that way. That would mean you've lost your empathy, you've lost your compassion. So I think we need to take time to say it's okay. This tiredness is a representation of my empathy for others, of my compassion for others, and a sign that I'm ultimately, I guess, a good person, that I care, and it's good to care. And if people don't care, things will never change. So this is something that we all have to bear and have to go through. And we all have to be a little tired right now, but it's in the hope that things will get better. And in the hope that we can make a better world from all of this, because we recognize that it's not okay. And that's the first step, I think, and I hope, to making some changes. So take some time, if you haven't already, to let yourself know inside that it's okay. It's okay if right now, you're not making the 5-star healthy meals with, all the extra virgin olive oil and fennel seed and all those fancy things those healthy recipes require, and instead you're just cutting up some lettuce, throwing together a salad, and saying, this is all I got today. Whatever it is, your at place that you're at. A lot of times I tell my clients, sometimes they come in and they're like, I don't know why I came. I don't have the mental emotional energy to do this. You know, they don't say that, but I can tell that something's weighing on them, that they're down. They're not in the right headspace to be doing this activity. And I just tell them, you got what you got. Like today, the energy you have for today is what you have. And if that means we can't do as much as we could do the last time, that's okay. We're just going to do what we can. So I think these are days right now where we have to kind of approach life that way. We're just going to do what we can, keep it together, and believe that it's going to get better. So I hope these tips help you guys. I will say that I'm working on these things myself. They're helping, but like I said, I'll be honest, I still wake up tired right now. And it's not because I didn't sleep well. It's just, I know the second I turn on the TV, the second I turn on my phone, my heart's just going to be heavy. And that's the reality that we're living in. But it's also a recognition, again, of your compassion, of your empathy, of your caring for other humans. And that is most definitely okay. So I hope that each of you are well. I hope you and your families are well. I want to thank you for watching this video. If you haven't already, do like and subscribe. I do hope that energies will be higher and lifted, and that we'll be getting you more content to help you with your fitness and weight loss and health journeys. But you're not going to do any of that if you don't have the mental and emotional health to physically have the energy to make those changes. So we'll be getting you more information on that. Again, thank you for watching.